Hello there everybody, Midnight Assassin 2003 here, back at it again with Flight Simulator X, and today we're doing another one of these aircraft reviews. The particular aircraft that we will be flying today is Lufthansa Dornier Comet 3. These particular aircraft were built in the 1920s. This particular model was built in 1925. First used as a civil transport aircraft. As you can see there, open cockpit for the pilot. So poor guy had to kind of sit up there and deal with all that wind while people got to sit in there in an enclosed cabin. So today we're taking off from Hamilton International Airport on runway 30. And before we do take off, I will give you guys a little bit of background history of the plane, as I usually do. So anyway, as I already mentioned, that this aircraft was the Dornier Comet. It was not with a C, it was Comet by Komet. And Dornier, I think that's how it's pronounced, is a German aircraft company who made these particular aircraft. They went all the way up to World War II, and even to still today, I believe, they're still being made. Well, not this particular aircraft, but the company's still producing aircraft. She had a Rolls-Royce Eagle IX 12-cylinder V-liquid cooled 360 horsepower engine, which is right in there. So this was a German airplane with a British engine. That's because this is a post-World War I aircraft, so during 1920s, even though Hitler kind of denied and didn't sign the Treaty of Versailles, they were still, giving each other resources, and Britain gave Germany a Rolls-Royce engine for this plane. Its wingspan was only 62 feet and 4 inches, which isn't so bad. This is a mono-wing aircraft, so it's definitely a lot more better than it would be if it was a biplane. It can only fit 6 passengers, which would be put in here, and 2 crew, so a captain and a co-pilot would be sitting in there. It could go about 650 miles and had a service ceiling of about 11,500 feet, which is not bad, considering this is an open cockpit airplane. So that's decently high up, but that's usually the normal altitude that these aircraft were supposed to fly in back then, because there was no pressurized cabin, so any higher, oxygen would get too thin, and you couldn't breathe properly, so yeah. And the aircraft's top speed was only 96 miles per hour, or 155 kilometers per hour. Okay, so without further ado, let's get this aircraft in the air. So, already, as you guys can see, I do not have a tail wheel back there, so I can't really, taxi without the use of a rudder, but my rudder pedals are kind of broken, so that's depressing. Anyway, into the cockpits. This is what it would look like. You had a kind of like a car steering wheel as your yoke. Normal rudder pedals right there. You got a clock on there too. I believe that is the magneto switch for your single engine, and this is your pitch. That's the fuel mixture and throttle control. I don't think that this airplane had a prop control switch, or a lever, sorry, so that's fine. Outside air temp is about 14 degrees. That is fake, because right now it is about 34 degrees in Hamilton right now, because summertime, and it's been getting pretty hot in here. So anyway, let's go ahead and power her up. So let's get the battery on, altimeter master switch on, and generator, and throw on the navi lights, get fuel up, and power it on. Beautiful. Alright, that was nice. And the picture of the pilot's wife or something like that, that's actually pretty cool. I like the detail how it kind of shakes because it goes with the wind. That's something I like. I like that detail. Alright, so all of these dials are in German. Now, I do not really understand German. I kind of do. I kind of don't. So don't get pissed off. That is the speedometer, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so that's your speed indicator right there. I knew that. Totally. That's a compass, I believe, yeah. Yeah, that's a compass. That, I think, is that RPM? Nope, that's fuel tank, see? What's this? That's oil temperature. That's what? Oh, well, that's oil pressure. Okay, so then... Is that the RPM? No, that's the what the fuck? Okay, what does this do? Okay, you can count that as RPM. So right now we're boosting about 522 RPM from this plane. Oh my. See, I'm not that trained in German, but I'm getting there, folks. I'm getting there. Don't you worry about it. Let's go for a little flight. Okay, so to fly this thing, you'd have to yell at the guy beside you because you probably couldn't hear him because you got the engine right in front of you. I do like this touch of detail, how they added in a small little windscreen there. They actually had that on the real airplane, so that kind of helps. It doesn't really do much, but, you know, it's there, so you're not going to have to deal with, you know, like if a bee or an insect of some kind, or even, you know, a bird. Yeah, those little shits, they can get right through the propeller, like the Matrix, you know, slow down time. Go right through there with the time signature and hit you right in the face. And judging by that, we're going at, I think, okay, I don't know if we're actually going at 100. Oh, well, I guess, okay, so if you're going to be hitting a bird at 153 kilometers an hour, that's going to fucking hurt. Like, a lot. Yeah, it's not comfortable, man. Like, could you just imagine, you know, you're cruising up and then all of a sudden a bird just flies into your face when you're flying. Like, that just gotta suck. Like, honestly, that's gotta hurt, man. So, you know, anything could hit you when you're flying, so at least they added this touch in, but if a bird flies into that, the odds of this glass breaking is actually kind of high, so, you know, that's even worse, because then you got little shards of glass going into your eyeballs, but, you know, it's not so bad, I guess. I'm pretty sure these guys were wearing goggles, too, you know, because your eyeballs can actually freeze up at an altitude of about 20,000 feet, so, you know, but if you got goggles on, it wouldn't really harm you, so, you know. Now, I don't know if that statement is true, but I heard somewhere that your eyeballs can actually start to freeze up at an altitude of about 20,000 feet. That's probably fake, but you never know, right? So, always wear goggles, man. Always. Just gotta wear them, you know, because you gotta keep those eyes moister than an oyster, am I right? Okay, so we are cruising pretty good here. Oh my, it looks like the jungle down there. Alright, so this airplane actually is cruising very nicely, and very steady too. It's not really jerking around or anything, although it suddenly happened to have gone from going straight and then turned, so that's interesting. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that big looking radiator piece at the bottom, that is probably your intake, or a cooler, or that could be your radiator. You never know nowadays. And then these things here that look like tractor trailer pipes are actually your exhaust. And yeah, pretty sure those are the exhaust pipes. Yeah, they are the exhaust pipes. This thing has a very stubby little rudder tail, but that's totally fine. You know, no worries about that. That's part of the design, man. It just makes this plane a lot more family friendly. A lot more safer, it gives it better reviews. So yeah, Lufthansa. I actually, before, a while ago, I had no clue how to spell that out, and I was just like, is that, like, Lufthansa, or something like that, or Lutania, like that. That's actually how I used to say it. You know, and then I figured out, because I heard it from somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's Lufthansa. Okay, that definitely sounds more German to me, so. You know, but you learn something new every day, folks, keep that in mind. Okay, so not really much else about this plane. I kind of fucked up the time sig, because I was kind of going with aircraft starting from, you know, up and up, and the Lockheed Vega, which was the last aircraft I reviewed, was built in 1927, and this is built in 1925, so that kind of messed up the time thing here. But you know what? It's okay, because the aircraft are still in the 20s, so it's not so bad. You know, like, I'm pretty sure the Spartan Executive, that aircraft, if I'm not mistaken, was built in 31 or something like that. So, you know. Yeah. Well, maybe not 31. It was probably built 1934 or 36 or so on. I did the review. I kind of forget because I did it a while ago, like 2 months ago or something. So, you know, I kind of forgot. Also, this plane has no flaps. That's very common on most of these airplanes, but they don't really need them in the first place. This particular airplane, its fuselage, as I previously mentioned, aircraft like this, their fuselages were made of metal, or all metal aircraft, and the wings, I'm pretty sure this was made of canvas, if I'm not wrong, because you can't have metal wings. Well, you can, because, you know, you saw the tri-motor, but this isn't a tri-motor, although Germany kind of made a few of them. The rudder tail is made of metal, you can tell, because of the lining on there. And these wheels are probably, oh my, I can't even tell what kind of wheels these are. I think they're something from like a tractor or a car. You never know nowadays with aircraft back then. All I know is that back then biplanes were made of nothing but trailer park pieces and bicycle wheels. And yeah, and some wood. Got a nice wood finish right there for my dashboard. But yeah, that's it, man. You know, and you don't even get a parachute. So if you fall out, you're kind of fucked. You know, because back then they gave pilots an option. You know, you could either, you know, just shoot yourself and end it if you're going down, or stay in the plane and burn until you hit the ground, or you could jump out at 100 feet or 600 feet and hope for the best. You know, now it is possible, because there have been some cases where people have actually survived from falling from insanely high heights. You know, yeah, like there's been cases where people have survived falls from 12,000 feet, and they broke their legs, and then that's it, you know, but they still survived it. So, you know, anything's possible. You know, you just gotta hope for the best if you fall out of one of these, because you're not really strapped in. Like, as you can see, I'm not strapped in, and my co-pilot is invisible, so, you know, but I wouldn't really fall out from here, because canvas. Shouldn't be doing aerobatics in an airplane like this. Okay, coming into land, I got that big red looking runway right in front of me, so that's the runway that we are touching down on. This right here, this is one of those things, I forget what they're called, but they show you your airplane. It's almost like a horizon meter sort of thing, because when I turn the airplane, yeah, so it's like that. So that's kind of like a horizon meter in a small way, not really, but kind of. So that kind of just tells me whenever the aircraft is turning or not. So I'm just going to put my landing lights on. Nope, and none of that stuff is needed. Okay, so we are now kind of clear to land. Okay, so these lights don't really help, but you know, they're there. So, gotta deal with it. Okay, coming in. Alright, so I'm going to slow down. I'm going to put the throttle at 50 here. And that is labeled compass. I'm assuming that that's my compass. That's not. That's not true, because that is. That's my compass. So that right there is fake news right there, folks. That's a lie. That's totally, yeah. Gotta fix that. But you guys can always get these particular airplanes on a good website. It is called simvation.com. Those guys, well, on that website, they got tons of airplanes. Like, I mean, like millions to download. And that's probably the best one to go to. I used to use, I think it was Just Flight or something. Oh no, Flyaway, simulation.com. And those guys are pretty good too. They still got some pretty decent airplanes on there. But Simvation has a lot more variety of airplanes, so I'm kind of just gonna go ahead and shout those guys out in case I got any former pilots, you know, on here who would kind of want to get more free airplanes, because these are all freeware aircraft, some of them. And, you know, you can go there, pick yourself up a free, good old-fashioned airplane, and away you go, man. Like, they got jets, World War II airplanes, choppers, utilities, all this kind of stuff. Map, designs, everything, you know. Everything you need, just go to Simvation or flyawaysimulation.com and good to go, man. So definitely check those guys out, because you can get hooked up with this airplane right here, which is not bad, you know. Like, if you guys like vintage aircraft like myself, I would definitely rate this airplane about at least a 7 out of 10, because overall they did a really good design and modeling of this plane. You know, so it's really cool that even some of the planes that aren't even really seen a whole lot, you know, they still have them on there, so you can make them seen and make them famous. So I'm kind of making this plane famous by doing a review on it. Man, that was a really smooth touchdown. Holy shit, that was beautiful right there. All right, I'm now on the ground. That was fun. And came into a stop here. Perfection. Okay, now I can get my lights off. Get that off. And let's say shut it down then. And turned off. Generator switch off. Avionics master off. And battery off. Okay, we are done. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, do make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any other new videos coming out. I'll try to do a few more today. If I can, I might. I'll look into some other aircraft from this era, because we're going to try going up from like 20s to 30s, 40s, and so forth. And I might have a few more airplanes around, so stay tuned for that. But yeah. So hit the subscribe button, turn those post notifications on, leave a like if you want, put a comment in if you want me to do a review on a certain aircraft. If you'd like, I can do that. Why not? Or if you have any other simulator or game suggestions for me, you know, let me know. So put those comments in. So yeah, but anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.